Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lives, all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got...
Happy Friday, everybody. We are back to give y'all, of course, another awesome, great show. This is First Friday, so y'all know what that means. We have our awesome house therapist present
and accounted for. How y'all doing?
Yeah. And of course, co-host is with the mostest. What in the hell is that? You know you on mute, right? So if you was talking to say something, we ain't heard nothing you said.
Who muted my mic?
Apparently you.
No. What's
that,
up? What's up? What's up, everybody? How y'all
doing? Lord, I tell you. All righty. So, we're going to get this thing started. It has been a long ass day. But definitely wanted to have this episode. Definitely want to have this episode. So if you have not, please like, share, subscribe on the YouTube and hit the notification bell. Follow us on Facebook, TK.
Everything. Follow us on everything. Everything?
Yeah,
everything.
Spotify, Pandora, all them.
Everything. Everything.
Yeah.
It ain't your time yet. You gotta go. Hey, go.
Yeah. So tonight's topic is the strong Black woman and man syndrome. So typically it seems like, well, it only seems like this syndrome, of course, is usually related to Black people. Is that topic, thought, process, cultural label that Black men and Black women are supposed to be strong all of the damn time. We ain't supposed to get tired. We ain't supposed to get frustrated. We not supposed to ask for help. We definitely can't fall apart or come short of nothing per this little cultural label. Society. And that's with everybody. That's even with our own, that we ain't supposed to fall apart. I think I'll go into this later because this is gonna come up. But it's almost like that thing of we take a licking and keep on ticking. We're not supposed to react. We're not supposed to defend. We just supposed to go right on with the little flow that Massa want us to go with. So we are definitely gonna get this started tonight. So Larnika, please tell us, what is the strong Black woman and man syndrome?
Well, you basically just said it. For the most part, it's pressure to be on top of things, to carry everything, to handle everything. Don't complain. Don't show any weakness. This was something that started through slavery. You didn't show any weakness. You couldn't complain. You couldn't cry. You couldn't stop. You couldn't say anything. Master would beat the hell out of you if you did, and really didn't give a damn if you cried or whatever. And so I think that mentality of perfectionism, of course, it comes from trauma, and that was truly traumatic. And as generations came about, that became a survival instinct. Like, this is how you survive through slavery, through Jim Crow, through civil rights, through 2026. Nobody give a damn what you got to say if you're complaining about it. If you do voice any frustration or feelings, then, you know, as Black people, the Black woman is a bitch. You got the angry Black man, but you can have our counterparts who may have disagreements, show emotion, or cry, and it's like, oh, it's okay, you know, woo, we got you. But if it's us, we are a problem. We are a problem. So I think it is, like I said, as far as survival, I think it's been passed down generations because we have been taught that this is what you do. You don't let anybody see your weakness, you know, crying. And it's to our detriment. It is really to our detriment, because when we don't show any emotions, we don't know how to process emotions. We don't know how to label emotions. So a lot of times the emotion that follow us is anger. Anger, in a sense, shows strength. Like, you know, if you, I don't know, we're in a situation, and if you cried, you were weak. But if you beat the hell out of somebody, you were strong. Probably thought you was crazy too. But just like when we look at men, boys don't cry, you know, you toughen up, and it just makes this hypermasculinity, this, you know, stuff that's really toxic. It's a real toxic way of being, and trying to unlearn and untrain that is possible. It just has this degree of difficulties because of cultural backlash that we receive.
Yeah, that is so real. So this little thing that we are definitely seeing a lot in social media is, I'm gonna use the awards from the other week. When little old Michael and Delroy Lindo was up there getting their award, and there was this person in the audience that hollered out some racial slurs, and you could see the pause on their face, but they it was like, you gotta push through it and keep on going and not acknowledge it at all. It's like, whenever these moments happen, we're supposed to push through. We're not supposed to react. We're just supposed to take the lick and literally keep on ticking, just like it never existed. But at some point, all these little uncontrollable episodes always happen with us. They don't tend to happen with nobody else. But we just supposed to just suck it up, keep moving, and get that little good slave pat on your shoulder that says, all right, well, you know, good job, y'all move past it. You didn't address it. You didn't react, and you didn't react in a negative way. So it's like, how many of them are we supposed to take? Because they kind of building up lately.
Building up a lot lately. I heard at that same award show there were some other slurs that were said, but they got edited out. I think if I heard correctly, there was a gay slur, but they edited that out, but they didn't edit the N-word out. Like, well, we'll take this out, take this out. They say this all the time, so maybe y'all can keep that up. We don't care. And that's a whole different country. They were in with England or Great Britain, wherever they was at.
Yeah, they was in Britain.
So they probably don't give a damn either way. Like, y'all just deal with it, kind of thing. And it's unfortunate. What if they would have reacted? What if they would have said, yo mama, you know? Then you got these angry black men on here that's coming unhinged. But yet, had they said the gay slur, and perhaps if a gay person was up there and they said something, would that have been okay? If they would have said, yo, what is this about? What is going on? Why didn't y'all, you know, what? I mean, if a person has a disability, or and that's a whole different thing on that one, and they couldn't control that, I guess. But nevertheless, what was allowed to be broadcasted, I think that speaks volumes. If you had time to edit things out, and you chose other slurs to edit out, but you let that one fly, that says a lot right there. And like you said, instinctively they were shocking by, but they just kept pressing through, and they went on with it. And I think we are taught that. We are taught your feelings don't matter. Minimize your feelings. Just keep going. And I think as a community of people, we have to be the ones to correct that. The unfortunate part is other folks don't give a damn. They don't care. They ain't gonna care. And I know a lot of times we look for validation in other people, but we should have a safe space where we can express our feelings and emotions. We should learn to be able to do that within self. But if our whole community has this ideology, that's what makes it the most difficult. If everybody feel this way, even amongst us, if we could come amongst our community to be able to talk about it, release those emotions, be able to have like some kind of support group, something to be able to say, okay, yes, we know when we were out here in the world, we cover up because we know these people, it could be detrimental to us if we do express ourselves how we feel. But to be able to release that in some sense, some space, have a space where you learn how to deal with it. I think that is the biggest issue, that we don't have that space, or maybe we feel like we don't have that space to be able to express how we feel and just show, I'm tired. I don't like that. If you're on a job, depending on who they're, some folk can do what they want. If I do it, you gonna get put out.
But I think two things. One, I think when you said we need to start at home, but we created that environment. We created the fact that that boys don't cry. We created the girl, you don't need a man, you can do everything by yourself. And all that whole mindset came from us. And I get what you're saying when you say it started in slavery. Yeah, that's true. It started then with that mindset, Jim Crow, because if you showed your true feelings when something happened, you liable to end up at the bottom of the lake. However, when we were around each other, when we were segregated, we were able to show how we felt. We were able to express. We had safe spaces. But somewhere along the lines, we started not to allow each other to have safe spaces. And that's where I think like you said, we have to start there. But the question is how, when we created that divide.
I think Willie Lynch created that divide. I think that when we were segregated, we had nowhere else to express those things but with each other. Whether I was the maid, maybe I went to college and became a secretary, and maybe I worked at the plant if you're from Southeast Texas. We all lived in the same neighborhood. And so if we had cookouts or church or whatever, everybody had that, and we had that community for each other, because Black people could only be on one side of town, could only be in one area, and that's what we had. I think when segregation ended and folks were trying to figure out which one of y'all we gonna let cross the tracks, I'll take this one, I'll take that one. You a little better than them because you got a little college education now. You a little bit better than them because you got XYZ. And some people start believing it. And so, yeah, I want to please master. So I'm going to turn my back and go on over on that side. And the people who was left, what do you think they felt like? They felt like, well, hell, y'all ain't no better than me. We all black. Why are you acting like that with me? And that's where the divide came from. And
But
it's sad.
Even the ones that stayed on the side of the track, they do the same shit.
Yeah, because they were taught that. This is learned behavior. This comes out of a trauma response. This is responding to these things. If I'm trying to do something and my own people may even come and tell me you're not good enough, or don't fuss, or don't cry, don't say nothing, you ought to be like me, pull your bootstraps up. They do that. We do that to each other. We do that to each other. And I think the way to heal that is for the community to truly come together. Do we need segregation again? People talk about it. I don't want to be the one saying that, y'all. They be like that therapist saying people need to be segregated. Well, our community needs to come together and heal together. Period. Whether it's the church, the regular black folk that do what they do, the gays, all these people. We just had an election. And half of us was saying, we don't want that black woman to win. We want this white man. I know that's a whole nother conversation. I ain't even trying to go there. And people have their reasons, and people can vote how they want. Really, you do what you do. But, my thing on that is we had a divide, and we're trying to come together for a common ground to be able to get something. Why are we divided? What is that about? And I think it's trying. We were taught to hate ourselves and to hate each other.
I'm glad you brought up the election, because she can be viewed as what people will perceive as a strong black woman because of the way she comes off, the way she carried herself, and what I've learned, and just like observing, dealing with people, and talking to them, sometimes that I'm not even gonna say syndrome, because it's not a syndrome. It's something that we put on ourselves. Sometimes that persona is created to survive in certain situations. An example of this: think about, we're gonna use Jasmine Crockett as an example. Think about her path to get where she's at. She's a young black female in a predominantly white male occupation. So she has to exude some type of machismo, have some type she has to move with the level of testosterone. That's how I'm gonna put it. Because if not, they're gonna look at her like, she just one of them, and they're gonna push her to the side. Because we see it all the time. You see the smart woman, whether black, white, whatever, that can hold their own, but if they don't have that masculine aura, that masculine present aura, like, I'm coming for your neck and I'm gonna step on your neck, they get put by the wayside. But then the flip side to that is, like you said earlier, they look at her as unhinged. Oh, she's ghetto. Oh, she's a problem. And the only thing she's doing is acting like the people in her environment. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword. But that is her, I guess you can say, so mechanism to survive in the arena that she works in. And there's so many examples like of women who have to, especially like if you look in a company, a Fortune 500 company, and you see a female, I'm not even gonna say black, I'm gonna say a woman. Majority of them all have the same type of characteristics. If they're successful and like driving hard, they have the same type of characteristics. They have a masculine aura. They have like a hard charging type of aura, and that's because of the environment that they're in. If not, they're gonna get ran over. What is it? What Melissa? Well, I can't read today. She said, I disagree. They always conflate or qualify as manly.
Yeah, like what would she do? What would she have
It's
to
not just
like?
it's just not black women, it's women, period. You gotta understand the constructs, like, and that's so, like I just said, 90% of I'm gonna just use that. 90% of the government is what?
White men. Mm-hmm.
So if you know your if you know your surroundings, you know your environment, you know where you trying to go, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna adapt? Or are you gonna stay the same? Hell, it don't matter. It don't even. Let's not even talk about politics. Let's talk about work in general. Are you gonna adapt? Or are you gonna stay the same?
I guess I beg to differ, because a strong black woman, now she's masculine.
Huh?
Like if she's showing strength, when I see Jasmine Crockett, or I see some of these women in corporation, I see strength. I know femininity,
But
we saying with these syndromes, is it weakness? I'm supposed to be, yeah, okay.
And that's my point. You're really proving my point. If you come off soft, what's gonna happen?
But why is being a strong black woman equated with being masculine, having masculine, whatever you said? Why can't that just be a sign of strength? Because society does tell women should be seen and not heard. So I guess if she was being in a woman's place, she wouldn't be in politics either way. And I guess if we were all being in a woman's place, we wouldn't be out here doing anything that we're doing right now, because we'd be in a woman's place. But
I said nothing about being in a woman's place.
No, because you mentioned that she's testosterone. I
said she's in the environment, so she's gonna assimilate to that environment
by showing strength. Isn't assimilation?
Okay, how is she showing strength?
By speaking her mind, saying what she was saying, quoting statistics.
Is that strength?
Strength?
Is that strength, or is that just her speaking her mind?
I think that's her showing strength and courage, speaking her mind, not masculine energy.
Why can't it be just her speaking her mind?
Okay, she's speaking her mind, but I'm going to the point that you mentioned about her having this masculine energy. That's what I'm addressing.
I said she had to move with that. She has to, and again, 90%, and we see the results. We see the fucking results. You can say she across the board, hands down, she was the most qualified candidate. Where is she at right now?
She in Congress, serving the rest of her term out until they vote whoever the other person in. And that's a point right there for me. And that doesn't take away how we express ourselves or what we do, but that proves my point about the society. Society still says, y'all shouldn't be doing this. You should be like this. Whether you are black, the strong black syndrome, I don't want to go, well, I guess we there. Whether you male or females should show up like this, and men should show up like this. And if you black, you shouldn't say nothing. Because I don't know, what if some of the male politics, well, Colin, he dropped out, I don't know. But if she was a man and she was saying the exact same stuff that she was saying, would they have still voted her in, or would they have voted in the white man the white Christian man that they felt was whatever?
If you want to take it there, hell no, it wouldn't. In that area, that wouldn't have mattered.
Mm-hmm.
She could have been a white woman, and she would have still got slaughtered.
Perhaps.
There ain't no perhaps. It's true. in that state, she would have got slaughtered because they are, like you were just saying earlier, they are stuck on a woman needs to stay in her place. And that's what it is. So
Yes.
yeah.
And
But
again,
it's again, like you saying being strong. Okay, maybe our definitions of strong is different.
okay.
Because when you can be quiet and still be strong. You can make moves and not have to. You can, like, what's that? You can make moves and not have to be loud. Like when let's say this. You see a lion always roaring. The first thing you're like, okay, you moving out of fear. You see an elephant, you moving out of respect. You see what I'm saying? One is loud and one is just his presence. Their presence cause people to move. Now, that's how I see strength. Like a strong, to me, when you say a strong Black woman or man, that's a person that's dealing with, I'm gonna just use me for an example. That's just a person dealing with their demons, fighting their demons. Why? Because they're still standing. That's what I see strong as. Because again, me expressing myself doesn't make me strong. That just makes me knowledgeable.
Okay.
Me makes me be knowledgeable and being confident. That's what I'm looking for. Being confident because I understand what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying. I believe in what I'm saying.
Okay.
So when it comes to being strong, I don't see her as strong. Now, courageous, yes. Because she when she had to, she stood 10 toes down against everything that was coming up against her. I give her that 10 toes down, and she didn't falter, she didn't crumble, she didn't quit.
Well, I think you have to be strong to be courageous. That's my opinion. And I think that the fact that she is vocal about calling out a lot of the things that are wrong and a lot of the misconceptions, because I guess if we were in different times where everybody was transparent, everybody called a spade, it is what it is, it was what it was, and people can decide, do I want to go with this or not? Then okay, you have a choice to make in these things. But because a lot of lies are being spread, a lot of misconceptions, a lot of things are out there, she's vocal to be able to call attention to it, to let it be known, like, okay, they're saying this, but this is really what's happening. Like, she will go on live and say, okay, we just met and they're going to tell y'all XYZ, but this is really what happened behind closed doors. And she'll have her other counterparts that's like, yeah, they're telling y'all that these big, beautiful bills and all these other things are about this, but it's going to really take your food stamps. It's going to take your Medicaid. And I can appreciate that.
Well, isn't that her job, though?
Say it again.
Isn't that her job?
Why is that not her job? She's a politician.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't that her job?
Isn't that her job? Yes, it is. Yes, yeah. It is. But how? I don't know. I don't follow every state's Congress people, but there are a few people who stand out that are doing that. Now, maybe they're doing it locally. Maybe they're doing it in some other kind of way. Maybe I'm paying attention to her because I'm from Texas. She's, she's not in my district, but nevertheless, she's informing me on things that I wouldn't ordinarily know, because if I turn on CNN, which I don't even watch them no more, and I'm gonna go with whatever they're saying, then okay. But if I got somebody that's right there can tell you, like, this is really what's happening, then yeah. And that's what she's done. She's gone on different shows and different podcasts and different places talking to everybody to let them know that this is what's happening. Her, AOC, maybe a couple other people, but you got what, 215 people in Congress, and how many people, how many women, how many Black women are actually talking to us to let us know that all this stuff they telling y'all, a lot of that ain't real, and a lot of stuff is covered up. I see strength. I see courage. There's some people that just vote. They don't talk. They're in Congress. They just vote. They don't say nothing. On either side of the aisles, they have town halls and they running because the people mad because they're not telling them the truth. It takes a lot to get out there. And then she said people were trying to threaten her life. I might be like, y'all can have this. I'm going to move to Mexico. But she, she's staying with it and did it. And to me, as a Black woman, seeing this courageous, strong Black woman, for me, it allows me to feel like, well, I can speak up when I need to, because I have an example of someone who is speaking up. Not old examples of Barbara Jordan or older examples of Maxine Waters, bless her heart, because we don't see, maybe now you might see a little bit. And I think it's a difference between the woman at the Dollar Tree cussing somebody out and going off because they didn't give her change. That's insane. Versus somebody who's actually arguing a point to try to bring about change that's good. So I think we sometimes we can mix up the woman that's mad and cussing folk out and tearing up and fighting and throwing stuff in Wendy's at the drive-thru, whatever, all this madness we seeing. People will mix that up with what Jasmine Crockett is doing. And that's
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, because that was going to be my point, where a lot of the things that you are talking about is being misconstrued because of what society has tagged. We already tagged that we're savages and everything. So anytime you see somebody like Jasmine Crockett stand up, that's what they're gonna say. Now we gotta I'm trying to read all the comments and stuff in here.
Need you put your glasses on.
Girl, hush. I read that one. They always conflate a qualified Black woman as manly. It is built the way so Black can't win. Yeah, if we're gonna go down that road, we already know we already set at a disadvantage when it come to maneuvering. So anything that we say as Black people, woman, is they're gonna try to twist it into their advantage. So that's a given. And what else she said? As a woman, I'm telling you, this is the case. White women are offered the space to be fiery and go-getters. True. However, that comes with a cost too. And I've seen it. And I've been in places where the same things some of the stuff that's said about Black women are said about white women. They won't say no racial shit around me because I'll start airing that bitch out. But when they see a white woman being a go-getter, she's a bitch. She's probably a lesbian. She slept her way to the top. All kinds of shit. Like I've heard it, and I just look at people like, if that's how you, and that's why. Okay, let me finish my statement first. If that's how you view her, because she is going after what she wants, that tells me a lot about you and your insecurities and your failures. Because if she's doing something that you want to do, you're looking at her as a threat. So now you're trying to belittle her because she's going after your dream. So that's how I see that.
Yeah, and I think that society has an ideology of what gender cultural norms should look like. And when people step out of that, break the glass ceiling, try to get outside of the box, then we're a problem.
But then that goes back to my initial question. Where did that come from?
It came from surviving. It came from, and if I have to go really, really deep back, a patriarchal society, biblically says women should do this and men should do that. Women should look like this, men should look like that. Don't wear this. That's why you said they think she's a lesbian. Because if she not, I don't know who woman she messing with, but just because she's trying to get ahead in corporate world, now she like women. Girl, maybe I'm far behind or something, but nevertheless, I digress. But when we look at the laws, women were not even now black people weren't considered human beings. Women were property. Women in general were property.
That goes back to who made the laws?
Man.
What type of man?
Like nobody on this podcast.
Like what type of man?
White man. Don't look like nobody.
What type of white man?
I don't know what type of white man it was. One in
Rich.
power.
Think about it now. Rich.
Okay.
Because remember, like if we're gonna break this thing down now. Remember, there were poor white people that were slaves.
Yeah.
The difference is the poor white people that were slaves got paid. So the people who made the rules were the rich slave owners who was like, hey, this is how it's gonna be. This is how society should be. In order to be in this, even the women, even the madams and mistresses, not madams, the ladies of the house were still at the level of the poor white people. So that's where a lot of this strong, when you see a woman stand up, oh, she's strong. That's where it comes. That's where it's coming from. It's not that she's strong. She's just being her. She's seeing an injustice and having the courage to be like, motherfucker, no. But because she's not following the norm that's presented, they have to label her somehow, with something. Oh, we got a question. We got a couple questions. All right. What is soft in a workplace? There's no way to be soft while working at. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's and I see it every day. It's somebody who doesn't speak up, goes with the flow, eats their cheese sandwich, and go back to their desk. That's being soft. You can be in a leader.
Speak and say nothing even when they're being wronged or treated unfairly.
Which brings us back to the strong black man and woman syndrome. Why do we feel we have to hold that stuff in? Why do we always have to handle the problems and never complain? That proves all of my point. Whether you black or you or woman, if you're not a rich white male, anything that you feel or say is problematic. Because you're going against the grain of what they have said it's supposed to look like. And so that's the thing.
So then we need to change the name then. Because now we want to talk about syndrome. Syndrome is a bunch of symptoms that's reacting to, what's the medical definition? It's a list of symptoms for a certain condition. That's what I had to think about. So if we want to talk about define the strong black man woman syndrome, one of the things you said was the inability to express themselves, the inability to not be in charge, not being come on, help me out now.
I'm trying to understand where you're going, brother.
For real.
I'm
trying to define it. Like, okay, because like we're talking about why. We're not talking about what it is. Like what it looks like. Like one of the examples I was going to use, well, I just thought about in my head was that go-to person, that person that everybody and their grandmama go to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see as like that strong person, but because everybody come to them, but they don't have nobody to go to.
Yeah. And a lot of times people with problems don't know how to deal with their own problems, so they will entertain other people. They will be the helpful friend, the matriarch, or whoever, because they don't know how to process their own stuff. So they get gratification by helping other people and never deal with their own stuff. They push it back there. Yeah, because we don't know. We haven't been taught. Well, overall, we've been taught, suck it up, keep going, suck it up, keep going, keep moving, keep going, pray about it. And if you complain about it, the Bible say obey your master. It's okay. Deal with the hard time right now and salvation coming later. And the preachers preach that too. It's okay. God got it. Don't worry about it. God got it. It's okay. And you get little therapists saying, hey, but we can pray and do some other stuff about it.
But if you want to talk about the Bible too, I'm not a Bible person, but it also in the Bible says something about the master treating his slaves as family.
Is that in Ephesians?
It's somewhere in that Bible.
Well, for the most part,
when I bring it up, motherfuckers start stuttering.
We only tend to get the part about obedience. You know, I know I was raised Baptist, and we get a lot of obedience. Obey your master, be obedient. The race is not given to the swift, but those who can endure to the end.
Yep.
So it's like, even though life is bringing you some challenges right now, just keep on moving, because hey, you can, in the end. What's going on? Have mercy, Jesus.
Oh, move.
He probably was fighting with that dog.
Well, in the end, God is going to give you, everything you want. So endure everything. Even though we know life is hard right now, endure it. And guess what? We have no other choice but to endure it. And we will endure it, but we can release a lot of the emotions that we have. We can heal the trauma that we have. I have a good job, so I don't have that issue. But for those who may be in a hostile work environment and they feel like they just have to deal with that, then it's like, you can leave, you can stay, but let's help you sort out your feelings and emotions. Let's give you a voice. Let's give you something that you can have. We don't have the healing. We don't have the tools. All we have is survive. And I think for generations upon generations, we're in survival mode. Now, yes, white women can cry and say these things. Some people probably will look at them as weak because we still live in a patriarchal society, but they are still a step ahead of us. When they got rid of DEI, they thought they was doing something to black folks, but then all the women that get all the grants and all this stuff had to be like, wait a minute, that's my money.
Yeah.
My fault. I had to go check on my puppy. He was whining.
Yeah. So no. And that's that thing. You do still have people that will get treated less than anybody else, and they still stick around in those spaces. Typically they'll say, like, I know I saw they at least to say they could be being strategic. That is true. Sometimes they can be being strategic because they 9 out of 10, somebody thinking somewhere, I'm gonna stay here while this over, I work on this over here so I can still be having my coins coming in. But then you got some that literally do think that they cannot do better, and they just literally take whatever comes with them to that point, because in some phase they don't think they can do better.
Yeah, and that's a sad part about all of this. Taking abuse, taking hostility, toxicity, all of these things, we don't have to deal with that, but if you I understand the why. I can't, I understand the why. I think the solution is being able to have that space, even if that job is toxic, being able to go somewhere else. And I know, like with anything and everything else, we have to show up to the table with all of our I's dotted and T's crossed. And if we leave a job, sometimes we may fear, oh, is there going to be a retaliation thing when they get ready to check my references? Not to say you got to just go off on people, but even if you just say, I don't like this, I don't feel comfortable with this, oh, you're hostile. What the hell? I'm saying the same thing Susan probably saying over there. Susan cussing and I'm not. But she, get to keep her job, or maybe they might talk to her and I might be fired. So I think there's a lot of fear. I think there's a lot of fear that's there as well. We don't have the resource. Well, we got them, but we don't know that we have resources to be able to do anything different. And I think it comes with a lot of fear because we were taught, you better be quiet, don't say nothing, just keep your head down. You ever watch The Help? This was like the part of The Help that was profound. They were maids and they had their own little stuff they were doing. But when I think what's her name? When the one her daughter was going to work and she got her dress, put her uniform together, no sass mouth. Like, don't you say nothing. You better go in there and do your job. Don't sass mouth. That just stood out to me for real. Just the whole movie. Not you is smart, you is kind, you is important. Y'all can have that one. But that part right there, when she told her, don't sass mouth. Like, you better do your job, put your head down and be quiet. Yeah, they may tell you some crazy stuff because that's what they do. They'll talk crazy to you, but you better not say nothing. And that was instilled, and that was profound. That's real life. That's real life.
Yeah, and it does come out because, of course, when you say something, I don't care how soft-hearted you are and how light you speak when you say it, they're going to hear this roar. Mm-hmm. You just giving off this highly negative, aggressive energy. Like you just ready to just set it off.
Because how dare you say something? How dare you?
We hired you. How dare you?
That's like Oprah on the
how dare you have
like you can't tell crazy color purple Oprah. You want to be my maid? Hell no, I don't want to be your maid. What they did, they done put her Sophia in jail and hit her in the eye and all that other stuff because she told that woman, hell no, I don't want to be your maid. Why could she not say that? I know the time period and all that, but why not? If I'm with my family and you want to give me a maid, I gotta be your servant. Hell no, I don't want to be. Why can't people say that? Maybe not in that fashion, but just why not? She on the street, she wasn't working for them.
Yeah,
but just
like, it's like in that particular space, it was like as low level as being a maid is. It was like disrespectful. Like I'm not worth better than that, than to serve you and take care of you and take care of your kids or whatever else and eat whatever leftover scraps that you decide to give me. It's like you wasn't supposed to think that you can be better or greater. And I think that still carries on now, that a lot of people, a lot of us, they won't held to a standard that you can't be Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine had to believe that Jasmine could be Jasmine Crockett here and there. A lot of people, they want to keep us as low as possible. That's why, honestly, a lot of jobs that we are qualified for, and I just saw this before we got on this podcast, it's a group that talks about the DEI, and a guy that was not qualified for a job, didn't meet none of the requirements, but got it. Whereas there was some Black people that had the masters and bachelors or whatever and hit all the qualifications that did not get the job.
Shit, turn on that TV. You see that all the time.
Drew that.
Yeah, it's real. It's real as real is. But when you put things in place to try to make it fair, then they say that's discriminatory. But nevertheless, I digress on that. But we as a community truly have the power, the strength, and the ability to heal. And we have to create spaces to be able to heal. We can't change society. I can't change me going to whatever and somebody saying the N-word and they just show that on TV. I can't change that. But what I can do is use my economic power and not purchase whatever they associated with. You know, I don't have to just take that. I can file a complaint. If it goes anywhere, great. If it doesn't, you know, I can use my money, my resources. Who they sponsors is, just like they doing with Target and some of these other spaces. You know, I cannot give you my money. I can protest in that way, boycott, and that's, I mean, hey, y'all may feel it, y'all may not, but my money gonna go where people support me. You know, we have, I think because we were made to feel like we're so powerless that people kind of just adhere and kind of go with it. But we do have a lot of economic power. And that has been seen in a lot of spaces when we come together and decide we're not going to use our dollars in these spaces. We're going to do it elsewhere. Now, is everybody doing it? No. Do I still shop at Amazon? Yeah. I don't go to Target. I never did. But nevertheless, if it's something that we feel is an injustice, then we can hold our dollars. Now, I don't know about them people say don't go to work. Child, who's going to pay the light bill? I got to go to work. I got them to, they ain't go, hey, I was protesting when the lights out. You know, but I think you can, you know, use your economic power into that. So there are things that we can do to feel empowered and to be empowered. And I think learning how to heal, learning that what we have is a trauma response because of generational trauma that has occurred, and creating spaces where people can talk about their feelings, show their emotions, being able to release it. Yes, the same standard is going to probably be on the jobs. And if you say something, it'll probably be something. But if you have a space at the end of the day where you can at least release that, I think that's healing within the individual. Yeah, I may go to the job and, well, my check is good, but it's hell over here. And I'm strategically planning some things and working on some out plan to get out of there. And so maybe I have to deal with these things. But I think what happens is when we hold it in and we have no release, we have no way to deal with that. That can affect us mentally, you know, and emotionally. And when we do pop, it's going to be a hell of a pop, and then we're going to be in trouble. I told you that was crazy. No, y'all just have people under a lot of stress and duress. And we hadn't learned how to heal and you know, process those things. So, you know, as a community, so we need to come back together.
I don't think we'll ever heal, because healing to heal, the trauma has to stop, because what you're trying to repair the damage that has been done. If it continues, it keeps healing. I mean, if the trauma keeps happening, you never will truly heal. Now, I like to say that you will be able to manage it better, manage dealing with these situations, because, like you said, if people keep holding it in, keep holding things in, it's gonna pop. It's like holding a soda with your thumb on the lid and shaking it up. That pressure gonna build. That pressure gonna keep going, and then next thing you know, you got all the soda all over your face.
I think the healing comes from having the change of mindset that you don't have to be the strong Black woman or strong Black man. Like you don't have to not express any emotions and feelings. Yes, I have to assimilate. I have to adapt. I have to survive at my job. But when I get home, I don't have to beat the hell out of my family because I have this misplaced anger and stuff that I don't know what to deal with. Or I don't have to drink alcohol and use drugs because I got all these feelings and emotions going on that I don't have anywhere to deal with. I think carrying everybody, and then even in our families, in the Black community, being the carrier of everything and not allowing some of my stuff to be held somewhere You know, I think that part, yeah, I mean, surviving the society is one thing, but being able to shift that mindset and learn coping and managing and all these other things and healing that misconception that I cannot show any weakness anywhere. And it's not weakness. I can't show my feelings or emotions anywhere. It starts outside. That's where it came from. But then if you have like you said, our own community, people are doing it. And that's real. People are doing it. You know, we've had such a divide. We've had such a, such a hell of a generational traumatic experience that's become part of people's identity. And I think having that mindset shift, that's the healing part. Like, yeah, I got to deal with these folks, but I'm able to, have comfort, have space, being able to set some boundaries, not bring that stuff home with me, being able to do something that can help me to not carry that and to feel like, maybe my feelings don't matter. Maybe nobody, and I can be empowered. Like I said, my money. That's the main number one thing that I'm empowered. I can choose where I spend my dollars, and if it's people that don't support my beliefs, or it's people that support the other beliefs that are detrimental to me and my community, and I don't have to indulge and engage in any of their stuff. I could turn the TV off. I ain't gotta watch their shows. I don't even know what award show that was, child. I don't watch none of it. But if I was one who did, and that was what they decided to do, then y'all won't get a rating from me because I ain't gonna watch that. But however, I heard somebody saying they shouldn't have been there anyway. I don't know. People got to do what they got to do, and I get that. People have to do what they got to do to survive. It's just how we treat ourselves, how we take care of ourselves. That's truly important.
True that. So, okay, I have a question.
Okay.
We definitely haven't touched on this part. How does the strong Black woman, strong Black man, as we call syndrome, how does this affect our relationships?
Oh, we don't know how to express our feelings to each other. Same thing shows up. Perhaps we're in relationships and we do have something that's not pleasing or something that's not right. Either we shut down and we don't know how to voice our feelings and emotions, or our person closest to us might get it. All of the anger and the frustration that we may feel from society because we can't express how we feel, we coming home and we tearing it up. So that it could go either way because everybody's response to trauma is different.
Okay, you got to be careful when you say the word tear it up. Tear it up has certain connotations.
Okay, well, not in that way.
I'm just saying.
Not in that
Some
way.
people might like that release. Yeah, like, oh yeah.
No, because then that wouldn't be a problem for some people, probably.
Exactly.
But we may be abusive, we may be aggressive, we may, do all the things that we can't do at work, we bring it home. And that's the opposite. You ever have coworkers, they just mean as hell. It's like, damn, what's the matter? And then you find out at home is horrible. Maybe the husband beating them or something, and they coming to work just tearing up. Maybe digress. They coming to work being aggressive. They're being mean and aggressive. And it's like, well, dang, what is going on? And that's typically what happens. People project. People will carry feelings and emotions that they can't release or express in certain areas and bring it to another one or bring it over here, and that tends to happen. So it can truly affect relationships. It can. It doesn't have to, but it can. Some people may have. I mean, if you have that space and your relationship is a space where you can talk about your day and you have a partner that's, able to help you process and give you that space to do so, and y'all do that for each other, perfect. But sometimes people haven't, gotten to that point yet. And like I said, when tough stuff happens, they don't say nothing. They hold it in or they become very aggressive.
And then also too, you got to look at it. They have to realize that they don't have to do everything and be that rock for everything in the house. When you come home, you should be able to. Once you hit that door, you should be able to be naked, literally and figuratively. Like, if you don't have that space that allows you to be like, okay, I don't feel like taking the lead now. I don't feel like being in charge now. I don't feel like having to listen to deal with your problems, deal with my problems, deal with everybody's problems right now. Um, they should be able to have that space and be able to say, okay, I need time for myself to just be me. Because a lot of the strong part is we want to talk about, use the word strong. It's like lifting weights. If you do it too long, you don't get stronger, you get weaker. If you do it too hard, you end up hurting yourself or being fatigued, being burnt out, which causes other issues, which, if like being emotionally burnt out, can lead you down that rabbit hole of doing stuff that's detrimental to yourself.
Yeah. Being able to communicate with your partner, what you need is important. Mm-hmm. And having emotional maturity as a partner to understand that when my person gets home, they need that time, they need space, they need to just whatever.
Yeah.
And that's communication. That's communication.
Yeah.
Like we said, emotional maturity in that as well. So yeah. On both ends. I come home, I ain't trying to cook. Y'all cook? What we gonna do? I'm tired.
Pick up something.
I'm tired. I done been to work all day with these people looking at me, mean mugging, and I can't say nothing. I'm tired. Y'all better eat that bologna.
Right. Make a sandwich.
Got some spam there.
So let me ask this question, since we asking questions. Oh, you got another question? I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead. She said spam, and I was like, "Ooh, spam been coming up quite a bit lately."
I saw something about some spam the other day. I ain't spam probably 30 years. What was the question?
I forgot. Y'all started talking about spam and that shit.
Yeah. Oh Lord. But yeah, and then of course there's the mental that happens with this whole thing. And it's exhausting. It's really freaking exhausting having to be strong in this method of feeling like, and the label of having to be strong all the time.
Yeah, it can cause burnout, depression, anxiety, emotional isolation, difficulty asking for support, chronic stress or physical health problems, and feeling responsible for everyone else's well-being. You can't carry the world on your shoulders. I know sometimes we feel like we have to. Sometimes we feel like we're obligated to, depending on situations and circumstances. Sometimes families, I hear people talk about, and not airing out anything that happens in my trauma and grief support group, but I've heard people say, like, once the matriarch has passed, they tend to take on that role. And they're not ready to take on that role. And to be honest, they may not be able to take on that role, but nevertheless, they feel the pressure from family. Like, oh, we used to go to Big Mama. This happened. Who we talk to? This happened. We're going to talk to you. You the oldest, or you the most responsible one. You the one that whatever. Or sometimes family members may give you that task. Okay, Lord, take me. You the one in charge. Watch out for your sister. What? But nevertheless, that's where we have to set some boundaries, and we have to be able to put our feelings first, put our mental wellness first. You can't pour from an empty cup. If I'm out there helping everybody, then that wears me really thin, and just feeling anxious, feeling uneasy, feeling just a lot of negative feelings and emotions, even physical health issues, heart problems, all this stuff can arise just from the stress of trying to be strong and carry everybody else's weight. So it can be detrimental to you. It might not feel like it because, we're on autopilot. People may have been doing this for years and they've been taught this, and this is an expectation. But the reality is that's a tough role to be in, and that's really, not the best role to be in, and you don't have to have that position. You can make a choice with that, and it's okay to choose yourself. A lot of times people feel guilty. Well, I feel guilty because I'm tired and I can't do this, and they asked me to do that. Now they're mad with me, speaking on family. They're mad with me because I can't do XYZ. Let them figure it out, unless they little babies. And they, if they little babies, okay. But if they grown people, let them figure that stuff out. Big mama ain't here. They got to stand up and do their own thing. And if you fall down, just get up. I might help you if I feel like it. If I feel like it. Because you ain't got to throw your family away. But you can seriously set some boundaries of how you want to deal with people. Am I going to deal with you today? Do I feel like it? Okay. But do I feel obligated to deal with you today? That's the bad part. If you got time and you want to deal with it, deal with it. If you ain't got time, let them know. Not today. Not today, baby. Not today. Not today.
And it's funny that you said that, because I know after my grandmother passed, it was like, well, you grandma passed, so you next in line. You got to keep the family together. No, the hell I don't, and I don't like happy any damn way. So no, the hell I don't. But
grown-ups.
Even the older people, like my aunts and stuff like that, it was like, well, you can get the family together and you could do this, and you should put together the family. And I'm like, I don't want to. I literally was like, that's not something that I wanted to do. I definitely did not want the pressures. That them shoes didn't fit my feet.
Okay,
but that's how they saw you. They probably.
No. So, and that's nice. They can see.
Shit.
You got good vision and you got glasses, you can see a whole lot. I didn't want that.
Yeah. And guess what? You shouldn't have to. And I know people will try to guilt trip you. Nobody guilt you better than family. They'll make you feel guilty about stuff.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you got to set them boundaries and deal with that part. And they can, like anybody else can do a family reunion. It's just a matter of getting people information, finding the space and calling them and say, hey, this is what we doing. Y'all either bring some food or we gonna call, Church's Chicken or somebody. Anybody could do it. But they will do that to us. They will, and they are part of the cultural thing about somebody gotta be the tough person who's a strong person. It's embedded. It comes from society. It falls into our families. It becomes a tradition. It becomes a cultural norm, and that's a norm that we can break. We don't have to keep that. It doesn't have to be, at least within family. We can't control society. We can try it a little bit at a time, one step at a time, one task at a time. But nevertheless, we can control what's happening in our homes for sure.
Definitely.
We hope we can control.
Yeah, try to, Lord.
Yeah.
Try to. Yeah. No, that's what's up. That's what's up. I think we touched on some good stuff. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. This was a good topic. This was a really good topic, and I think it's real. I mean, it's real as real is. We see stuff every day, and it plays out in society on media. We see it. We see what happens when people try to go against the grain, or if they try to stand firm and hold this stuff in, and then unfortunately you hear about their demise. What was it? Wasn't it like a professor or something? First Black professor somewhere died by suicide. It was something. And it was like, what? And it was like, yeah, she had a lot of pressure from people and this, that, and that. People like, you got such great things. What happened? And, read their backstory,
It's been a uptick in African American suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, for the first time in history, we have overtaken the number one spot.
Yeah,
That's saying a lot.
What they say, pressure bust pipes.
Yep.
You hold that stuff in, gender. These poor babies, I deal with these babies every day. And imagine that they're holding in generational stuff that they don't even know.
Yep.
And when more things show up, they can't deal with it. And not just a baby. I mean, I'm talking about them, but you got grown-ups, older folks, that's dying by suicide. Not to just say it's a young folk thing. But typically people are asked what's wrong with this generation, what's going on with them. And it's like they are carrying. We think grandma and them was carrying stuff. These poor babies carrying because it's in our DNA. The trauma is in our DNA.
I'll piss people off. I said, because we fucked them up. That's what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
Oh, we fucked them up.
Yeah. And so the healing comes in by bringing community back. Bringing
the village back.
That part. Even if it's a village over here, a village over there, my village might not look like your village, but nevertheless, the people that's in there are getting fed, they're getting space, they're getting positive energy, they're getting what they need to be able to process their feelings and emotions, to manage them, to heal from them, to be able to conquer this world, to be able to deal with what stuff is going to, come at them, because there's going to be some stuff. We had, society has an illness in itself, and we have not cured that. So nevertheless, maneuvering this thing called life, we have to equip them with the tools and with things that they need to be able to survive. And you don't have to be strong 24/7 for that. That's not the tool that you need. But, we have to bring our community together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True that. All right. We can go on and jump into our outros. Whoever want to go first.
I'll go first. Hey, it's okay. That's it.
Okay.
I saw a video, and this kind of touches on this too. I saw a video where this little girl was getting in trouble they were black, and she was getting in trouble, and the mama was spewing them black words. And if the school called me again and tell me I'm gonna do yada, I'm like, boy, CPS gonna be at your door in like 5 seconds with what you just said on this video. But the sibling was sitting on the couch, and you can see he's sitting there, and his eye, he's like, he getting traumatized just from sitting there seeing Sissy getting ate up, and the words that's coming out of my mouth. He is getting ate up. And somebody is sitting on the couch next to him. It was a woman. And she just kind of lightly touched him. And she said, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
In them spaces, those of us that have experienced, we know them in some rough spaces, whether if you in that hot seat or you sitting at the person in the hot seat. Because a lot of times, depending on who your parent may be, you sitting there and you done got pulled into the mix and been like, "You want some too?" No,
Okay.
I ain't getting nothing. I ain't doing nothing.
I ain't doing nothing. I'm getting threatened.
Man, wow. When did this become a family effort, a group effort? Why? I ain't did nothing, but I'm getting pulled in as well. Or you getting that reminder, if you let them call about you and see what you gonna get. And you ain't did nothing. But I can say that's something I can pretty much say I know I didn't hear in those spaces was, "Are you okay?" And sometimes that's just all somebody really need to hear or be asked is, "Are you okay?"
Yep.
That's it. Not suck it up. You gonna get some too. Just and it's such a, I won't say it's so easy, because we have so much that we have been taught that we try to work against, but the ideal of it is really that simple, being able to ask someone how they're doing, being able to express how you feel, being able to have that space to do that, it can be done. So my outro basically is, you don't have to always be strong. You don't have to always give this allure. You don't have to always have these walls up. There are safe spaces around. Even if your household is not a safe space, if you got to go to work, that ain't safe. You got to go home, it's not safe. There are spaces that are available. And sometimes you may have to go outside of your norm to be able to find that safe space. And you can integrate that safe space into your surroundings. You know, we got a trauma and grief support group. There are other groups. Check your local listings for wherever you live. They may have some support groups around. But you don't have to deal with any high expectations or other people's expectations of how you should feel and how you should react in certain situations. Your feelings matter. Yeah, we went through so much stuff. Yes, we continue to go through some things, but your feelings do matter. And if you need some help, it's okay to ask for help. If you need to set boundaries, if the person on the other side of them boundaries cutting up, they'll be all right. And if they don't, that's on them. It's okay to rest and not try to do everything under the sun, you know, and not take that time for self. It's okay. But they say rest is in resistance, resistance and rest, something like that. That cliche they're saying.
Yep.
It's not a sign of weakness. It's empowering. You can empower yourself by resting. You can empower yourself by asking for help. You know, those things are important. But again, I do appreciate y'all having me here. I enjoyed the conversation. I do. I need some more insight, some info. Y'all can follow me, Larnika Lambless, LPCP, LLC. Thank you kindly.
Most definite. I pretty much said my outro with my little spiel. But at the same time, breathe. I'm holding. Like, you got all this. Breathe. Release some of that. That'd be too much sometimes. We need to know how to breathe. But nevertheless, of course, thank you, Larnika. As always, we greatly appreciate you for coming on and always blessing us with something and these tools and stuff that we need to make it another day.
Always my pleasure.
Yes, but make sure y'all are. It's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. It's definitely not a sign of weakness to put yourself first or to create boundaries, to self-care and all those things. That's just part of being human and tools that you need to get through this life, because life can serve you some stuff and the people in it can serve you a whole nother different dish. So, hey, just do what you got to do, even if you got to cut people off. And there's nothing against cutting off family nor friends at all. Those is called stress relievers. Believe me. So, again, if you have not, please like, share, subscribe on YouTube, hit the notification bell, follow us on TikTok, IG, all that other stuff we on, Facebook, everything. But definitely, if you haven't shared this with somebody, because somebody might need to hear whatever that was talked about on tonight's episode. Don't gatekeep, because that is definitely a word these days. Don't gatekeep. So y'all have a blessed night. Have a blessed weekend. And we will see y'all next week.
Yeah, what's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please, none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this. Don't talk about it. Really on the move.